Hello, Strand. How are
Hi
you?
there, Cornelia. I'm perfectly fine. And you?
Yeah, I'm fine. What have you been doing?
Well, it's been quite a hectic weekend, I have to say. So much things going on, and I've been digging into some pretty interesting stuff this weekend, so that we might talk about later on. So I've been keeping myself busy, so to speak. And you?
Yeah, I've been helping my daughter to move, and she will have a baby soon. Actually, we are broadcasting on two channels today, both Miss White Hat and Cornelia Unfiltered channels. So we will see how that goes. Mm. Well, we have so much exciting news. Uh, did you see my ex on my tweet about Kenya?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. On the 15th to the 16th, their currency rised 40% since they ditched the dollar.
That's
And
one
so
one of
many things are happening there.
one of the benefits of ditching the dollars.
Exactly. So what will happen now is that they will be able to keep their own natural resources and their gold and their coffee and their oil. They can sell their oil now in their own currency, and that is thanks to Russia, and that's
Yeah.
really nice. Also, you can get into the country now without a visa, and that's they are opening the borders, so you don't have to apply for a visa. And also, in many companies now, the Kenyan people are taking over, so the whites they are leaving their positions more and more and go back to their countries and other countries and we will see this in many countries.
And in the same at the same time, and regarding to this, also the we have the conflict Israel and Hamas, where Israel has been a lock, a geostrategic lock
Yeah.
between Africa and Europe,
Mm.
and by losing that in the future, and everything will be in place in Africa, that will be glory days actually.
Yeah, and also I heard that um, Ethiopia, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, and now Zimbabwe will join. And Kenya is not even on that list. But you know that Russia has made all these agreements, these military agreements with most of the countries in Africa. And also the Wagner group, they are helping Niger, how do you say that? Niger, yeah, to get rid of the French and the Americans
And the Swedes.
and the Swedes. But we haven't left, I thought about that. How come we haven't left yet? But that will come. I don't think it's more, to be seen without being able to act. So I don't think they can act, but they are still there. And I think when they divide Ericsson and so on. I mean, Ericsson and ABB, they can't leave. I mean, you need that. I mean, it's a whole infrastructure that holds the country.
There we have
So they, uh,
making them national, the companies making them national, and making the companies their own. That is probably in the future.
yeah, they will be able to take over, and so the head, so to speak, the head of the snake, or the head of the kraken, or the head of the deep state, that's been cut off, and now we have Space Force that controls that. So we will see the Swedish brands in these countries, but I mean, if they were in control, they wouldn't be able to, ditch the dollar or, tell the French and the Americans to leave. So we know that they are free now, and you know that it was so cool. Coles and Pepper found something really, really cool. And that was on that tweet about Kenya. That was released in Bloomberg at 11:03. And we know that 11.3 is end of occupation in
Yeah,
law of war manual. So, which means that Kenya now are free, end of occupation, and King Charles was there maybe 1 month ago, something like that.
yeah,
And yeah, so it's really interesting. He was there, and just shortly after, they were able to ditch the dollar, and now end of occupation. That's what we think, at least.
yeah. That's
So cool.
yeah, that's great news. So I wish all African countries all the best in the future, being freed from globalism, being freed from Swedish financial interests plundering them, and so on. Yeah,
Yeah,
finally.
but I think we should talk a little bit more about BRICS and what it is. But the difference with Africa is that they haven't put all the people, the population in Africa is not put in debt, but the country has borrowed money from IMF and so on. So the difference is that the money has come from IMF to this country, and the people hardly any have debt. They don't borrow money. They don't borrow money, so they are not put in debt. But the country is put in debt, and then the country has to repay that money to the IMF, and in that way they can steal the natural resources, and they can use the population um, as slaves, more or less, as human labor at least, but more or less slaves. So when they now do all this debt forgiveness that they are doing in Africa, I mean, China has done it, Russia has done it, IMF, that is top of their agenda with debt forgiveness. So what they have done actually is they have put all West almost in debt. I mean, on a individual level, and then IMF have borrowed money, and they have to repay it and work it off. But now, with the debt forgiveness in Africa, then the people are freed because they have been free all along, because they didn't have a personal debt in that sense. They have to, is you have the country's debt, and each citizen has a part in that. But I mean, in West and in Sweden, for example, Germany, Netherlands, so we have on individual basis as well.
Yeah.
That's mainly.
So they have an easier way out than the Western countries, because we are personally in debt.
We
Um,
are double.
yeah,
We
we're
both have the, yeah,
so getting out for the Western countries, and especially Sweden, that has one of the world's most in debt citizens. It's quite a complex situation to get out of that, I guess. But for Africa and Africa joining BRICS, I would say it's much easier to get out of the debt system, the Western debt system.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So this is, I mean, so what has to happen now? I mean, the BRICS is all about, it started in 2009, and it's all about making trade agreements, working together, and ditching the dollar. That was uh, the main aim of this collaboration between these nations. And before it was Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But now we have, let's see here. I saw a good picture here. And yeah, here is the picture I can show. So here we have China, this is GDP of the BRICS nations now. And we know that about 40 countries have applied, and they have said that all countries that apply, they will automatically be a part of it because they will not say no to anyone. So we have China, United Arab Emirates, Iran, Ethiopia, Egypt, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Russia, India. And I mean, Saudi Arabia, that was really the heart or the core of the petrodollar. So
Yeah.
now when they join, the petrodollar is dead. And you can say that the petrodollar was instead of almost instead of Bretton Woods, instead of gold. So now when the petrodollar is dead, there is nothing backing the dollar up.
No. So it's
So
free. It has no how do you say it's there is, since it's not backed by gold, since it's by history not backed by anything,
yeah.
it's only backed by credibility, I guess.
Yeah, but before 90% I've heard different, but actually a Swedish economist from SEB, he said that it's 90% of global trade was done in dollar. And I believe in him more than anyone else because, that is the Wallenberg's bank.
Yeah, he
So
should
if
know.
he says that is 90%, I won't say 70. But so I believe in him more than any other economist out there. So, and now, and that they forced, all countries to sell their oil in dollar, and now now they don't do that, they won't do it. And when Saudi Arabia, that was kind of that was the center of this, and now when they have joined BRICS, they have nothing.
That's a tough spot for for Biden.
Yeah, it's really uh, yeah, no value, exactly, no. And we can see that new currency now, new dollars, at least they are done. It's the treasury dollar that are replacing the Federal Reserve note. So they are switching little by little. So all new money now is done, created by treasury, and that is a huge difference.
I haven't seen if there is anything new regarding that on the debt clock. I haven't checked that out this weekend.
So much to use them. Okay. Use debt clock. They don't want to they don't want to open the page for me. You can't fool me. You. Does it open for you? USDebtClock.org. Yeah.
.org, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
Great.
Secret window. New money. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Old
exactly
money.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So this is linked to US national debt, interest on debt. And this is the key thing, the interest. I mean, it's growing much faster than the creation of new money. So, I mean, these are killing themselves here. And then you have this debt-free currency that are being printed now. So
And it
now it's
says
actually
asset-based wealth creation, limited supply, store of increased value, transparent, verifiable real assets. Yeah, that's a different from what we had actually, to
Yeah,
say the
really.
least.
Yeah, and you can say that I think it was Mozambique now. They have so much diamonds that they can actually back up all currencies in whole Africa.
Yeah, and I see the
Oh,
silver. I see the silver coin
let's see.
on that image as well.
Uh, I just wanted to show here the new money. Uh, Here, money creation, it says here, and here you can read some history. So, I mean, this is really to educate the public about the financial system. But here you can see that US Treasury dollars are building up now. Um, so this is really cool.
Yeah, this is the most interesting times in the history of the world, actually.
Yeah, and here
And
you see
this,
dollar supply. This is, I mean, this is I mean, is a liquidity problem. We don't have enough dollar, right?
there's so much in that picture. Both John F. Kennedy, this Liberty Silver
Coin.
dollar, 1964.
Yeah.
So much to dig into
I don't
there.
remember how much it was, but
I
secretly,
haven't seen this one.
you haven't seen this one, no? But this, I think this was new for today. It's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, right? When they switch these
Yeah, yeah.
images. So, but um, I don't know how much Kennedy created, but he created a lot of treasury dollars actually. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was a lot, and they don't like that, you know. So I mean, what we really have to talk about is when we discuss this system and this old system and new system and CBDC and so on. I mean, you have the central banks, and they have funded, you can say, the all public institutions and everything run by the government. And then you have the private banks. That's where ordinary people have their bank accounts, right? So we have the money from the private banks. So when they issue a loan, we get that's the money that we use. So your money in your bank account is digital, but it's someone's debt, right?
Yeah.
So and we think that these private banks and these banksters, this cartel and this mafia, we think that they want to put everything under, treasury, for example, or the Swedish government. They don't want that because this has been privately held. So it's not the big brother that look at you, that surveil you. It has been private companies run by Ericsson and Wallenberg, and also the money creation has been private banks, and they don't want to give away that to the people.
So the core of the problem is actually when private banks issue money out of debt. That is the first problem. And then when they take interest from that money creation and debt, so the interest is not created at the moment of the debt creation. So if I lend you 100 Swedish kronas and you have to pay back, so then the 100 kronas is created, and then you have to pay me back 110 kronas. And so that is the
Yeah.
basis of the problem, because the interest doesn't exist. It
No, exactly. It's fiction, but also it's how the interest
Yeah,
grow like a snowball effect. You know, it accumulates with
yeah, because
interest.
every
It's the same as when you save money in a bank. You see that the interest make, yeah.
Yeah, because then you have to pay me back money that doesn't exist. So that creates an infinite, what's it called? Um,
Growth,
i-
expansion.
growth
It,
expansion,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, you
So
have
you
to
have to work.
expand the economy and give new loans. So the problem is that the interest is building up really fast. And
Yeah,
then you have to take new loans in order to repay old debts. And during the pandemic, that was kind of um, the end of it all, because you had almost the whole world in lockdown,
yeah,
right? So we were in lockdown, and we didn't consume in the same way. We didn't expand our companies. We didn't travel. We didn't this and that. But the interest, it grow, on interest. So it grow exponentially during this time. But this, and it was so many beautiful things that happened actually. Not only that everything was still, we could see dolphins, inside different, near the cities, because there were no ships, they were not
yeah.
the cargo and so on didn't. I mean, it was really peaceful, and we could see, the sky and the birds and everything kind of came back to life, but the interest didn't. It kept on growing.
Yeah, you decrease the speed of money, but the interest just kept on ticking. So
Yeah.
we got ourselves into even more problem, which was the purpose to make everyone aware of that. And now we live with the outcome of that, and it will only escalate further on until someone actually stops the old system from ticking. But the continuous growth demand in the economy, uh, that makes everyone need to work harder every year, and work take even bigger loans every year,
Mm.
and make
Mm.
themselves even more in debt every year. And on the same time, the economy controls the politics. So
Exactly.
so when the economy is falling down, and they control um, the politics, the end
Yeah, I want
result.
to just show this. I mean, this was from today, right?
Yeah.
In our yeah, this is
So the
um,
wealthiest part of the world has took 2/3 of the global assets since
fortune, yeah, asset.
fortune
So
since.
so they have actually drained. I mean, 2/3 have they um, stolen or taken from the people. And this is really interesting because, I mean, the wealthiest, we know that many of them, they have their assets frozen, or they will have their assets frozen. So it says 2/3 of the global wealth has gained by the rich people since 2020. This is not provoking at all. What do you say?
I
Are you
would say a
provoked?
bit. And that is a very good optics for waking people up, because we have been saying that uh, the all the time fewer people becomes wealthier on more people's on more people's backs.
Yeah.
So, and we've been saying that for quite some time, and this is the proof of that.
Yeah, but now we can see, and I mean, this is maybe part of reallocation of assets.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably yes.
because they won't have that. I mean, they will have their assets frozen, and they will either just write them off, because we won't need all the money that has been created, but all debt that has been created, because the debt will be actually forgiven. And that's
Yeah,
I mean, in the beginning it was every seventh year. Now it's every, in the Bible it was every 49 or 50 years, you have year of jubilee. And that is actually the Bible. That is actually the system that works, because they knew that, it doesn't work forever. It can't grow. Yeah. Now we are slaves. And I mean, this is, if we compare us to Africa, it was, yeah, we are so rich in this. We are not rich in anything except debt. What are we rich in? I mean, how many own their car, their house? We don't. And if we don't pay the taxes, take our they can take our house, our car, and so on. And actually in Sweden now we have a different law, so we can take money from rich people. And was it 16 billion that they already have taken from rich people in Sweden? This uh,
Yeah,
this uh, this uh,
yeah,
this American star Gunilla, American Housewives.
yeah.
Yeah, they even took you know things from her, and are going to sell it now. So we will be able to buy all of their, you know, things.
No, I think she was in 300,000 Swedish kronas in debt, and with interest that was the double, so it was 600,000 something in debt.
Yeah, it was only 16 millions, but we have to stop a hoax.
Yeah, Russia collusion. Yeah,
Yeah. Anita writes, yeah, take the money from the rich and give it to us poor, like Robin Hood.
part of our government and system. That would mean a whole lot of people that shouldn't have the wealth and the money. So by law, if they have broken the law, they shouldn't have any assets or money that they have taken wrongly, so to speak. So it's very important, at least for me, that it's done in a legal sense and a legal way. So if they have broken the law to obtain the money, they shouldn't have the money. So involved in this criminal gang and cartels and whatnot. So it's a lot of people, and that's why we're quadrupling our prison prison system. It's a serious problem in our society.
Yeah.
We are the core of the deep state, so of course we have a lot of deep state people here.
It says that it's lagging, and they think that the Wallenberg is switching. You know that I don't know. It was on Wednesday my live broadcast. It was actually, they took it down for a couple of minutes
Yeah,
in the middle of it. I don't know exactly what I said there, but I said something that went against the community standards.
I think
So they
they're
are.
keeping an eye on us, and I don't mean the deep state though, but I do think that they keep a watching eye over us, what we're saying and doing.
I think we are going too fast. Okay. Yeah, but we try to continue. Hopefully it will be
Yeah,
better. Um, maybe I can turn it off here. Can help if I don't know. You can look at some more news, Strand.
yeah. Do you want me
I
to
was
speak about the Rakel and the Cordcom, and do you want me to
Yeah, please
elaborate
do.
that one?
Yeah, elaborate on that, and I will fill in when I can.
Yeah. So it's very important for she was disconnected. So how else would they make that conflict and that constantly making problems in the society. So they had control over that, and in taking the neighbors in Finland, it's just the same thing because they have Nokia's Tetra system for the police in Finland. In Norway, they have a joint venture with MSB, which is the intelligence of Sweden, and in Norway they're using the same system. And that goes also for, I wrote two more tweets regarding this, and that is the fact that it actually in both Europe, all over Europe, this system is used. And also, so if about Ericsson and Qualcomm, powering 2000 way back when until 2019, this was the case.
Mm. I see that many people have a problem with this it's lagging and so on, but I don't think you say lagging, but it was kind of Swinglish. But this is being recorded, and we will yeah, publish it again. So no worries, just try to have a good time. We know that there is some problems, but the recording is actually working fine here. So I will republish it later. So just bear with us. Great. And yeah, we could also
Qualcomm and Ericsson, because
mm,
Frontex, I'm not sure everyone knows what Frontex do, but they are the outer limits of the European Union. They are checking the borders and keeping track of every things moving and borders and everything. So I guess it's called secure border communications. That's what they do. And the system for Frontex is called SEBOCOM, SEBOCOM.
mm,
And lo and behold, they use also the Ericsson Qualcomm system and the Tetra system. So when you have this, but regarding the Frontex, if you search 112 maybe, or
yeah,
Qualcomm.
I think it's this tweet, right? Yeah, this is Ingves. He was for a very long time our the manager of the central bank, the Swedish central
Mortgage.
mortgage has destroyed Swedish economy. Sweden should, you know, how do you say, close
Disregard
the yeah,
those
disregard the Riksbank, just close it and switch the krona to euro, even if it means that we lose the right to get this. We get some yeah, some we get back some of the interest that we pay, about 30%
interest
of the interest
deduction.
deduction, exactly, interest deduction. So and this is what he says now, but he knows, of course, and he has called himself a shaman, that he knows that he has to be really good with creating trust in an illusion, because I mean the financial system is an illusion. So I mean we have no other choice. um, we have actually no other choice to buy a house in Sweden. I mean, you can't, we have so much tax on everything. So you can't be rich by just working. Then you can wait until you are maybe 50, 60 years old. Then you can buy your first house. So everything is built on, I mean, or a dog. It's like, I mean, it's so expensive. but since we have this system with the insurance company and so on, they can take the prices. It's the same with the houses. I mean, they would never be able to sell a house at that price without this system with the that everybody's take loans and everything. So, and he knows that. So, and he has been creating this system for the Swedish market forever. I mean, so this is really to provoke the Swedish people and to wake them up.
Yeah, with the tax levels we have in this country, everything is so expensive, and the salaries are not that high in comparison. So to buy a house, maybe I don't know, 5-6 million Swedish kronas, you have to work the rest of your life to be able to afford it,
Yeah,
unless you take a loan or and a mortgage and solve it that way. And if you have a dog or a cat and it breaks its leg, you have to use the insurance because it's
yeah.
very expensive. So it's this system is kept up by borrowing, loans, and insurances.
You know that my puppy is a golden retriever, and he ate this sock. So it got stuck here, in his stomach. And it cost 71,000 Swedish krona. It's about uh, $7,000, about that euro, 7,000 euro and dollar. So it's, I mean, that is just, and he was there for one night. And I don't know how long the surgery took, but maybe it took 2 hours. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, the prices are absolutely insane, and also the food is increasing by greed, everything, and then you have greedflation, so everything gets smaller and bad
Yeah,
quality.
shrinkflation. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so but I think it's look like that all over the world actually. So I'm quite sure that people in other countries can relate to what I'm saying. That's
the same thing. But I discussed that. I did two videos now, Miss Whitehat. I tried to speak English, and it's about 30 minutes. It's two, and I discussed both the financial system, but also the proof that we have got that we know that now that the quantum financial system actually is running parallel. So we know that it's coming, and we know that this is part of see that. So we will publish it. And also another thing that we can say, yeah, we can talk a little bit about Navalny and Umeå Universitet and Tedros from the World Health Organization. Uh, shoot.
yeah. So starting with Tedros, he's from Umeå University, so he studied there, and Umeå University happens to be where they actually confirmed that the Navalny was exposed to
Poisoned
Novichok,
with
yeah, Novichok
Novichok.
poison. So that's one connection, and then you have, of course, Porton Down in Great Britain, and here's where it gets seriously interesting because Porton, the lab in Umeå, so confirmed that Navalny was poisoned by Novichok back in the day, and the Swedish FOI, what's it called? It's military intelligence confirms the results of the Novichok. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the Swedish girl Åsa Scott at the Military Research Institute got sanctions from Russia at the same time. And she's the manager of the laboratory at Umeå that confirmed that Navalny was poisoned by Novichok. So this is it. All revolves around Umeå, and Umeå is connected to the Wallenberg family since way back when. So. And the history of Porton Down, which is a really scary place, you have the Sergei Skripal, so that was poisoned in 2018, where also Russia was supposed to be behind that crime.
Yeah.
That is also connected to Porton Down. So, and there you also have. I have to let the cat out before he stand up.
He's really poking on the attention. Yeah, I can continue. So what we have, Umeå Universitet is a university in Sweden, right, in the north of Sweden, and here we see that Tedros, he is actually he studied here, and he has studied epidemiology. That's really hard to say in English. Epidemiol. Oh, I know how to say it in my head, but yeah. So he has studied here, and he is an honorary doctor also here. So he's comes from this university, and also, I mean, we know his background, right, with the criminal. Was it crimes against humanity in Ethiopia, or was it? Do you remember that?
In Sudan.
Sudan. Was it?
For
Was he
Lundin.
there as well? Do you remember?
No, I can't remember that one.
Was crimes, but he was. So he, yeah, you could say that he fits right in with this criminal syndicate. But I think it was in Ethiopia, in Western Ethiopia, Tigray zone, and it was ethnic cleansing and crimes against humanity. So and he can sit there and talk to the whole world and give directions to all the health departments globally, la la la, and he is actually a war criminal.
Yeah, we have a lot of them. We have we have, for instance, speaking of Porton Down, which also connects to the Swede Otto von Rosen, who actually poisoned animals with anthrax during First World War. And he's connected to the Porton Downs also. So there is.
But since Navalny now is dead,
Is he?
do you think he's dead?
No,
No.
not for a second. I think he's dead.
Oh, you are so conspiratorical.
Yeah, I think maybe he's 17% dead.
Yeah, or he died 17 times.
Yeah, maybe that. No, he's way too expensive and worth a lot in a coming trial or as evidence. And of course, Russia would keep him as a gem and keep him under wraps the whole time, and they wouldn't let the deep state kill him, even though the deep state would love to kill him, so he would shut up.
Yeah,
But I don't think for a second that he's dead. They will make some history up, which they are in the making of as we speak. Because
mm.
allegedly they found his body in Siberia. You
Uh-huh.
know, Swedish media and the mainstream
Was
media.
he
They
bicycling? He was on a bike
he
with
wasn't.
all the refugees, in the winter storm, like, oh,
Maybe he
no one
will
is coming.
maybe he will end up at the Finnish border or something like that.
Exactly, with a white flag. No, I'm just,
No, allegedly they found his dead body at a morgue in Siberia. However, he got there, but it's so they have to make up the story as they go along. It's I
yeah.
think
We are making joke because we don't believe it at all. We believe that he's fine, actually. And Travis Wagner's welcome. He says that crimes against humanity, along with Ilan Omar's father for genocide of a tribe of Christian Ethiopians. So that was really interesting. So and Ilan Omar, she has, I think they cut her off. Uh, what was the committee that she was on? Yeah,
oh, I think
she
Travis.
had to leave. She had to leave a committee. I know. So they don't want. They have exposed Ilhan Omar so much, and yeah, he was convicted actually of terrorism, um, crimes against humanity. So
That is, and this is also a Swedish thing because instigating world war is another one that's is a Swedish sport because we have back in the days with the IG Farben, they were accused and convicted of instigating world war, and we're also speaking about instigating world war. Whoever blew up the Nord Stream, that is also on the table,
yeah,
and
I found
and
it now that yeah, continue.
and also and also now that Saab is supplying weapons that blows up Russian ammunition warehouses. So this is we're making some serious crimes around the world right now, and I hope at least all the Swedes understand that what we're actually doing.
No, we're not. But I just want to end this with Ilhan Omar. House Republicans voted to remove Minnesota Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar from Foreign Affairs Committee, citing past controversial comments she made about Israel and concern about her objectivity. This is, I mean, she has actually spoken to her to Muslims, and she says that she she does not stand with America or the US. She has her loyalty with her countrymen primarily, and also to Islam, of course. So I mean, and she has done a lot of damage in the foreign affairs um, for the US. So that was good. And I mean, with all this blowing up ammunition and so on, I mean, it's kind of good. I mean, we won't need that. We will have peace. We will have peace for 1,000 years. So we won't be needing all this, nuclear bombs. And I mean, with the nuclear, if it is what they say, we will all die.
Yeah, but
Also the rich people. That's why
what
they made it all these dams.
yeah, but what Saab is doing is sending smart budget bombs to Ukraine so that they can attack Russia, and that is escalation. So that is not a very good thing for this common Swede when we're instigating and supporting the war between Ukraine and Russia. So even though we need to get rid of all the ammunition and weapons, it's not. We're part of the war in Ukraine in a way that we're not supposed to be. If it was, well, we are, but it's not a good thing, though. I'm not sure if you've seen that tweet of mine. The define a war country where Saab is behind the massive explosion in Russia.
What did you say? Define. Maybe I can search on that.
Ett krig för land.
Was it in Swedish?
Yep, it's in Swedish.
You tweeted in Swedish. Okay. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah.
And that is Saab GLSDB bombs. It's a budget bomb manufactured and invented by Swedish Saab, which is owned by Wallenberg, and that is part of the BAE system, BAE company that is worldwide. So Saab weapon is behind massive explosion in Russia. So we're making some problems for ourselves in this.
You think?
Yeah, definitely. But we're supposed to. It's all the searchlight is supposed to be on Sweden and the financial families of Sweden.
Yeah. I think we really have to get some perspective on everything. And I just drove in my car today, and I spoke with my daughter, and we were talking about this Swedish wealth. And I was like, when you see all the cars, I mean, most Swedes have a car, they have somewhere to live, most, but I mean, it's all debt.
Yeah, it is.
It's someone's debt all along. So, and I
And
mean,
it's fake value everywhere.
Yeah. But also how we look at ourselves. I mean, that we are superior, we are humanitarian, superpower. I mean, it's all a lie, and as of now, I can't even, understand how I believe so. I mean, how could I buy this lies?
Yeah, we have a very good mainstream media working as a part of the military system to brainwash you, and they have been roaming free for way too long. So it's what they're doing is military grade perception and military grade brainwashing. That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's also at the same time, it's I mean, it's as much as, I mean, boasting ourselves is as much as looking down on other people. So it's really on their because not how you say it, but I mean, it's we feel better because the other are. So really, we are. I think that our view on other people is really, really bad.
Yeah, it is. If you have a population that think that they are superior
Yeah,
in over other people, and you see that when talking to people about Russia, for instance,
yeah,
looks down on Russia. They're drunks and they're whatnot. Um, they have a very sad view on other people from other countries
mm,
here in Sweden, and that is also learned uh, learned via the mainstream media. Uh,
indoctrination. Yeah, but
Indoctrination, and also it's kind of Nazi, the
yeah,
history of
yeah.
racial biology and the
Mm.
Nazi roots of Sweden, and still still to this day, I find it quite astonishing, to be honest.
But I think actually how we view other people, I mean, as we are taught, we haven't thought of it as Nazism. But I think really, in order to believe that you are superior, the other, all other people have to be less worth.
Yeah,
It doesn't work in another way. So, so even if it's back here, we don't think about it, we don't talk about it. I think it's something that we have just been taught for generations in this country. And I mean, to deprogram ourselves, I think that will take a long time. We
and
try to talk about Russia, we try to talk about Africa, we try to talk about all other countries in order to get some perspective, because we really think that, I mean, I think we are the poorest, one of the poorest population on the whole planet, but we think that we are the richest. What
yeah,
an illusion.
yeah.
Oh,
And the low expectation racism, that is also very Swedish. We have to take care of uh, people from Africa. We have to take care of people from Afghanistan. We have to take care of people from Syria or wherever it is that the Wallenberg has created war and destroyed their countries. And the
mm.
Swedes go, we have to take care of the. That is low expectation racism. Why shouldn't they be able to handle it themselves if the Swedes just didn't make war in their home countries, they would be able to manage themselves. But
I mean, this is the same, if we don't sell a weapon, someone else will take that profit. Someone
yeah,
else will do that. So we can as well do it. And the same also with you know, adoption of children. We have thought that, oh, but we have saved this child from
yeah,
this country, blah blah blah.
because they are
I
so
mean,
poor and they are so illiterate and they are so bad in
yeah,
that.
and to come here and just be, drowning in debt and this climate and this people.
Yeah,
I mean, looking down on you. I mean, this is. I mean, yeah. I'm adopted, so I can talk about it. I have the right to talk about it since I'm adopted myself. Uh,
and I
everyone
see
has
it,
the
so
right
I
to talk about
and
it.
I see it, so I have the right to talk to it as talk about it as well.
Exactly.
Because it's so
I'm a
it's
human
so,
being, so I have the right to talk
yeah,
about it.
because it's all over the place if you start looking, and the low expectation racism goes all over the place, and like race, there is only people and their behavior, that is full stop. There are no such thing as a race between humans. We
No,
are
there
all
are no.
human race. That's it, it says so. Human race. That is all there is to it. So it's full stop there.
Mm. Yeah, and we had this guy in Sweden, and he can imitate about 120 birds. And they made a parody, just a couple of minutes, a parody uh, on him, and it was so funny because it was like, instead of sounding like the bird, it was like coo. So it was so obvious, right, that this was a joke. But I mean, and all the people said, "Oh, you should have asked him before," And so we can't even take a joke. I mean, and I think that is we are really wounded as as a society. I mean, we have no sense of humor, and we as um yeah, McGregor says that we just it's the government says so, then it has to be true. So, and then the other guy said that, yeah, so they wouldn't understand, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. So the Swedes wouldn't understand that, right? We would say, yeah. so so the whole world is laughing at us, but I mean, really, it says we have to live with that, and we live here, and we can't even make a joke. And yeah, all
No,
these emojis and everything, we have to, everything has to be so fluffy. When we say something, it has to be with all this love and heart and emojis. And uh, why don't, why can't we just say something? No,
people can't
then we will get offended.
people can't handle their own emotions, and people don't take responsibility for their own emotions. That's why, because if I say something and someone gets offended by that, and it
That's
has
their
happened,
problem.
yeah, and I said it's a subjective feeling, so you have to take responsible for that, not me. So it's that somewhere along that way there is the Swedish problem that they don't take responsibility for their own feelings and reactions to things. I mean, if you don't think a joke is funny, well, you don't think it.
Scroll on, yeah, just
Scroll
scroll,
on,
you
yeah.
don't,
But
it doesn't matter.
you see that also on Twitter? If you write something that offends someone, they have to write it that they are offended, and it's, it's and
I mean,
I
but
don't.
what does that say about them? I mean,
Yeah,
really, and how can you just, I mean, have a sign, I'm offended. I mean, and also, we talk with a lot of people through this channel and so on, and I mean, we will get so many reactions, and we have so many different experiences in our lives and luggage that we carry. So it will be impossible not to offend someone, you know. And in this country, it's even more impossible. This is impossible. It's mission impossible. I mean, you can get offended by anything, but that is your reaction, and I don't mean it like that. I can talk about Africa, Sweden. I'm also Swedish, and I can make jokes about myself because my behavior. I'm indoctrinated, and I sometimes I react, and I'm like, what am I? Why do I react like a child? I'm 47 years old. I should be, more mature. But sometimes it just and it's people say that, oh, it's the way how you say it. It's how you say it. No, it's not that. It's your, you know, connections and your emotions, and we really have to just get over it.
yeah, because the point is that I can say whatever I want, and people don't have, they interpret that in the wrong way deliberately most of the time. And
Yeah, the
that is,
trolls, but the other people that they don't do it deliberately, and I think, I mean, in order to be whole as a human being, you have to actually suffer a little bit. You
yeah,
have to
but
go
you
through
reach
this and reflect and really leave it, you know, to educate yourself and to, yeah,
in this country, you reach very quickly the point of I don't give a fuck,
yeah.
because
But that is also reaction. I mean, that is also fear of being rejected, fear of feeling something. So I don't give a fuck. That is also. not true. That is just a protection
Yeah,
for
but
yourself.
you stop when you've been attacked very much, which most Swedes have that try to leave the matrix. You get so much backlash that at
And
some
hate.
point you just say, I don't care what people say, I will go my way. And you reach that quicker in this country, I think, because you get so much backlash.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's sane. That's really healthy. I think we should do that. But I mean, this is a journey that we take together, and we really, all of us have been fooled all our lives. I mean, everything that we thought was like democracy is good. No, democracy is not good. I mean, we have had, if we have had democracy, then we don't want it. I mean, we think that, oh, Sweden is a wealthy country. No, it's a country filled with most debt in the world. You know, it's top three in the world. Okay, so we have debt, not wealth. Um, I mean, it's we think that you can vote and you can make an impact. No, you can't. That's also so. I mean, we all have been fooled. So get over yourself. I mean, all of us have been. We have to. We can just. Sometimes I say that we have to break and then just move on. We have to break and
Break
permit
down and
ourselves
move on.
to break down and really we can be sad and so on. Then we have to rise again and keep on fighting. But sometimes we have to break. For me, when I woke up, I cried for and throw up for 3 months. It was so horrible. I've been working in the financial industry for many years, and I was like, what have I been a part of? You know, I didn't even know. I thought I did the right thing. I thought I helped customer, and maybe I did in a way, but really, I mean, yeah, we have all been part of this, and we have to face it. And you know, it's sad.
When you find out how corrupt this country is, you first you deny it's first
Mm,
you deny it and then you
mm,
accept it and so on. And that was the same thing for me a lot of couple of years ago. And I started really digging into can it really be this rotten to the core, and it shows that it is, and it's worse than I ever thought.
mm.
So I made it my absolute goal to expose as much as possible about this, with the help of Carl and you and everyone else, and
Mm. Yeah,
also
we
the
have helped each other. I mean, and this is a journey. I mean, we haven't all the information yet. We don't know exactly how deceived we have been. We we get the breadcrumbs all the time, and we get more and more the picture of how this system has worked and how they have tricked us. And Travis, he wrote something really interesting. He said that the Wallenbergs took a cue from the devil himself. The devil's greatest trick was to convince the people he didn't exist.
yeah
So and
SNVD.
as an over there, that's exactly to act without being seen, or to act not to be seen. But as of now, they are seen. They are fully visible, but they can't act. So now we have the opposite. So
Yeah,
it's good, but really, and I also think that we have to humble ourselves, because when we realize that we don't have the full picture, we don't have all the information, and we are on a learning curve to find out really how great this deception has been, how great this fraud, and how they have cheated and tricked us. I mean, this is a journey, and we will get so much more information. So when you say it's like this, how do you know that? Who told you that? who told, I mean, everything we know, someone told us. Who has controlled that? Who has controlled the scientists, the history, all the facts that we have been presented? How do we know anything? I mean, and that's when you go down that rabbit hole, that can first
truth as we go along, because I still find a lot of things that I didn't know. I still get information, additional information about
yeah.
threads that I have written before, and it
Mm.
shows that I was almost correct, but not exactly. So I get another
It was
breadcrumb.
worse.
Yeah, probably most of the time
Most
it's
of the times.
yeah, much
Exactly.
worse. So you're adding the reality to eventually reach some kind of truth for yourself at least, and then it's up to others to make their truth out of the reality that we present and that they find themselves, because that is the only way I
But
know at least.
the reality is the reality, and the truth is the truth. Maybe we don't know the full truth, but the truth is what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, there are not more than one truth. I mean, there is one truth, and it's the perception or the knowledge of the truth. And I mean, that is what we are working on, is the knowledge of the truth, because the
yeah,
truth has been the truth all along. So the truth is the truth, the reality is the reality, and our perception has been wrong because we have been tricked.
yeah, we've been lied to for
Yeah,
200 plus years. So but
yeah.
the best thing about being in Mordor or Falukorven or Sweden or whatever it's called, the best part is that we have we have the core of the deep state here. So we can see the names, we recognize the names. It's easy for us to search names and
Yeah, and we
positions.
know the connection. We have actually known this whole, I have known it my whole life about these entities and this family and so on, but I didn't know about their crimes. I didn't know how they use this leverage, and I don't fully knew the leverage. I didn't know all the companies, and I didn't know exactly their business outside of Sweden, but I knew a lot about their companies and how they worked in Sweden and so on. So it's easier for us because we have so much knowledge from, you know, we were children, because this is kind of our, how do you say, national heroes in corporate and also on the stock market. I mean, they have been, ooh, they are the best, and they, you know, this is a really, if you want to invest and get a profit and dividend, you should invest in these companies, and we knew that they can't fail. But we didn't know why.
Yeah, and even when in the beginning when I started to map out the family connections uh, and all the history of that, I mean, doing that with the Wallenberg family, that is enough to scare the living daylight out of you, because
Mm,
they have been so for so long having a central part in the world and
mm,
influencing so many people
mm,
and making so much problems and making life miserable for so many, even by
mm,
mapping out the companies around Wallenberg and the family of Wallenberg. That
mm.
even that is enough to scare you.
Yeah, but I mean, and also I think it's really key to understand the system. I mean, it works on telecom. Who controls that? I mean, if you don't have telecom, if you erase that from the equation, what you have then you don't have a financial system, because you have to log into your bank and so on. And if you can't do that, you will never be able to reach your money. Information all along. You knew exactly, I mean, what politicians and other companies were talking about. Maybe you invented something that you wanted to launch, and they knew that, oh, this would jeopardize our business. They wouldn't let you. Either they would steal it, they would buy it from you, and then just bury it, because they don't want that. So 80% is information, 15% is economy, and that's really important. I mean, you have to finance all this, right? And then you have about 5% that is actually with bullets and military, forces, and moving all these weapons and so on. But Saab is not a small player, and also they are now. I mean, you control them through telecom, right?
Yeah.
So it was Trump. He said that, yeah, it was our missile, but we didn't control it. So that's a problem. If you don't control the telecom infrastructure, then other one can control your missiles, or other one can control your text. So let's say I'm gonna text Strand now. They could actually in real time change my text before it reaches you. You don't know when I send that, and that's milliseconds, and you will never even notice that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, so if let's say Rothschild, I mean, they got wiped out before, right? But let's say now they have $600 trillion, let's say. Yeah, but if Ericsson doesn't work and the telecom doesn't work, they would never reach their money. So,
No, and that's why it's extremely important, the part where I spoke about the controlling the police and the rescue service and all of that. Because
112, yeah,
yeah, because
911.
calling 911, you're in distress, or 112 in Europe, you're in distress, and they switch you off, or they disconnect you, or they alter the information or something. That's a big deal, actually, if they are not trusted people behind that system. And we spoke earlier about the Amber Alert. We spoke earlier
Yeah,
about Chai, that they are controlling the migration flows. They are controlling the missing children. They are controlling 911.
mm,
I mean, the digital control that they have is immense. It's huge, and
yeah.
they can control whether or not you are able to communicate with someone that you need to communicate with. So
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
and that leads us into section 201, right? Because all these platforms, um, they haven't been liable. So it was not, it's like a public utility, but they didn't stop, like child porn trafficking and so on. So this is modern day slavery that's actually done over the internet now.
Yep.
And Trump talked a lot about this, and now with all these hearings with Mark Zuckerberg and so on, they were talking about. I mean, you have to apologize, you have to be responsible, and also Darknet, and Amber Alert that you said, and all this. I mean, they could have stopped it. They
Yep.
could. I mean, it's so easy now with algorithms. They know exactly what you are typing before you do it. And I mean, this filter can just pick it up. And he said, yeah, no, but we can't. And then they were pushing him and say, you can do that. I mean, and it was not even that. It was that if you even got like recommendations. So if you were a pedophile and a child, you got recommended.
Yep.
So they were facilitating the meeting, you know and that was like, and and then it pops up, do you want to see this anyway? So they were kind of mismatching, putting them together.
They
So
were using.
and yeah, and we think, yeah, but sometimes it doesn't work. I tried to call 911, didn't work. But it's not like that. I mean, they really could have stopped it. They could have put you through. And I mean, this is 2024, and we don't even have connection. I mean, that's hilarious. We should we have that, but we are not. We don't have the access to it yet. And I think, I mean, when we talk in Swedish, why wouldn't it be possible to just auto generate English or Swede, other Spanish, so you can translate it in real time? No, you can't. So with the Swedish language, you can't, and I mean, that's also a lie. Of course they can.
It's
The,
information control,
mm,
and that's since we are ahead and we are the core of the deep state. That
mm,
means we are a bit ahead of the other rest of the world. So someone has to stop us from um, going too fast, I guess. And another funny thing you said about the algorithm, and I wrote on Twitter when I was mad. I said they could stop this in 15 minutes if they wanted
yeah,
to. All this human trafficking and whatnot,
yeah,
because
exactly.
I did a thread about Facebook, Pornhub, and OnlyFans.
Mm,
Um, in December, I wrote a thread about that, and I tried to search for OnlyFans, this thread that I wrote. So I tried to search it and I couldn't find it because it was OnlyFans. So they have blocked that on Twitter. They have blocked the algorithms for
mm,
OnlyFans. But I see now that it pops up again, the thread that I wrote about the OnlyFans. So that's how easy it is to stop all this in a heartbeat. Actually, they just manipulate the algorithm not to show those kind of things, and
yeah,
it will be history.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, everything will work with AI. It will be possible to just, for people, when I speak Swedish, you will be able to translate it in real time to all the languages. That will be no problem. But I think that this educational project it has a pace, and I'm not really fond of that pace. I think it goes too slowly, and that's the reason why they took down two of my channels and censored. They just removed my Facebook account that I created in 2007, and that's really annoying. But yeah, I think we will get it back eventually, I hope. And you also they took your Facebook account as well, right?
Yeah, they took my Facebook, and I didn't bother going back to that old DARPA lifelog thing. I didn't want to be part of that, so but Twitter I kept because, and that is due to the fact that Q have written about Twitter, and I interpreted that as that is the battlefield, but that was my interpretation of that. So I kept, I stayed on Twitter, and I kept on being on Twitter, even though it's my third account.
The role of the dollar. Um, can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. It says network error timeout. I don't know why. But I think really that what did I say?
That they have to think about the dollar, the
Yeah,
importance of
yeah,
dollar.
yeah, the dollar was actually that was the currency that was used all over the world. 90% of all global trade, 100% of all trade in petrol. oil, and also all of the transactions, of course, in narcotics and cocaine and so on. And we are talking on the highest levels. That was always the narco dollar, the financial system, and the other system is running parallel. And I did a video um, about how and when the financial system got hijacked. And that was in, you can say, in 2019, when um, Space Force and the DOJ took control over Ericsson. But it was even before. It was in 2017 when Trump made his submission tour, when all of these countries, Saudi Arabia, European Union, Israel, and North Korea and China and so on, all of them submitted to the plan. And the plan was to make this new system and crush the old system and forgive all the debts.
Yeah, we have come a long way into the new paradigm, a very long way. And I would like everyone to understand that controls all of those, and that happens to be a Swedish family. So
Yeah,
that is extremely important if you want to lay this puzzle out in front of you. Yeah, then you have to dig into telecom, banks, and military industrial complex. Then you see the jigsaw puzzle in front of you.
and follow you, Gestrand.
Yeah, of course, and you as well.
Yeah, and the Fria, Carl
And the
Norberg. He is our national, how do you say?
icon.
Yeah, icon. Yeah, he knows the Swedish and yeah, the Swedish history, the true history and the real history. And also he has been talking about this system and the Wallenbergs for, I don't know, 25 years or something like that. So when
Yeah, and
some of you went in diapers, he was talking about this already. So
he's learned me a whole lot, a
me
whole
too.
lot. So
For me, it was like, I found Q and I understood all of this about the financial system and so on. And then I thought, like, yeah, but I saw some of you Swedish patriots on Twitter and X and so on. And then I thought, maybe I should look and see if there is any corruption in Sweden. And then I started digging, and that was like, okay, here is the here is the corruption in
yeah,
Sweden. And I actually didn't think we had any in Sweden.
we were kids,
Yeah,
and it shows again that it's the opposite. It's actually the opposite again.
yeah, it is. Thank you so much, Gestam, for today. Next
Thank
Sunday
you.
we will speak in Swedish, and the Sunday after that we will speak in English again. But we really enjoy this, and thank you also to our um, foreign audience. You are
Yeah,
so welcome here, and we are the Mordor. We are the core of the deep state here, and
yeah,
we
and
are reporting reporting from this corrupt.
yeah. And I
Yeah,
have to say, I really, really appreciate all the uh, other nationalities that follow me, and especially English and French and German speaking. That is a good way to make noise and make it heard all over the world. So
yeah.
really, really thank you for following me and sharing and everything and being part of this.
Yeah, we are patriots all over the world,
Yeah,
working together, exposing the corruption, telling the truth, and working together. And we try to speak English. I mean, it's kind of we two Swedes sit here and speak English because no one, no one else wants to talk with us. So we have to sit two Swedish and speak English. It's kind of hilarious. Are we that lonely?
Yeah, we really are.
Yes, I thought about that. We sit here, two Swedes, speaking English. Are we that lonely, really? They don't want to
I
talk with
really,
us.
well, I really think that is a good approach because no one else has done that. So I think that is an extra good approach that two Swedes sit and speak English so that other people can understand what we're talking about. I think that is a
Exactly.
really good idea, actually.
Yeah, and uh, we want to tell the truth to the world what a couple of Swedes have done, and we don't take any part in that, and we are exposing that, and we are doing it together. So thank you so much for sharing this information and for following us, and we are united all over the world in
Indeed.
this multipolar world that are being created in front of us
Yep.
with sovereign nations, I mean true sovereign nations, trading in their own currency and getting to keep their own natural resources and richness of their countries. So
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
I've listened to the speech that Donald Trump made in the UN. I have listened to that several times, and I think that is one of the best speeches ever in history. I
Yeah,
have to say that, much better than anyone else.
yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you,
Thank you very much.
Strand. Thank you
Thank
all
you.
the audience, and thank you for supporting this channel. And uh, I will have my live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 12 o'clock Central European Time in Swedish. And see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.